I am just wrapping some pieces for shipments. I need to go to the post office today. I just did my morning routine of eating breakfast and doing some yoga, but I still need to take a shower, get dressed, get ready for the day, and I have a bunch of ideas for what to get up to. So I want to go to the post office, and I thought I would go to the South Philly post office that is near a new thrift store that just opened up, the 2nd Avenue Thrift. It's one of my favorite thrift stores, and it's very exciting that it is somewhat walking distance from my apartment. Not that I really need to go thrifting, but we have had this like weird issue where we keep running out of spoons in our kitchen. I think we brought spoons on a camping trip and they ended up going home with my sister. We are really low on spoons, so I want to check the thrift store just to see if there's any spoons to buy. And I thought I'd also check out the fabric section and maybe the frames and just see if there's anything cool that I find. Also on Tuesdays, I think there's a 25% off discount for members, and I am a member. So after the post office, I thought I would walk over there, and I need to pick up some books from the library, which is kind of in that area too. And then today I want to start a sewing project, which I'll talk more about. Once I get past all my errands, I'll get into my sewing project. Ultimately, I want to make curtains for our bedroom, so I want to start that today. And then other than that, yesterday I pattern drafted a pair of gloves. It looks like a funny shape, but if you don't know, I do tarot inspired glove embroidery projects as like art pieces, and it's been a while since I've done a pair of gloves. The next one on my list is the Chariot, which is a very rectangular structured tarot card or archetype in my opinion, because the Chariot is like a rectangle block kind of. Anyways, I pattern drafted a new pair of gloves, so I thought I might also, if there's time, trace these out on some fabric. Also, maybe I could find cool fabric at the thrift store. I do have some blue fabric that I possibly will use for these gloves. I'm leaning towards either blue or yellow, but I can't really decide. Or I don't have yellow linen fabric, so right now like blue is where I'm at with the Chariot gloves. That might be also something I get into and might be cool because people are always asking me to share more of my process of glove making and embroidering. So we can talk a bit about that later today, possibly. Lewis is at a job today, so perfect opportunity for me to vlog because I still feel kind of strange vlogging around anyone else, so that's why my vlogs are always just me with my days by myself, getting into work or other creative projects. Yeah, I'm gonna finish wrapping up stuff for the post office and then take a shower, get dressed. I guess I'll see you walk into the post office. From my errands. It was kind of took longer than I expected. Yeah, the thrift store was kind of nice. I spent $40. I got a bunch of stuff that I didn't expect to get. I was definitely tempted by some other little things, but I only brought this tote bag, so I couldn't go too crazy. Already I stuffed this to the brim. And I picked up some library books, which I can show you as well. I feel like I haven't drank enough water today. And it's almost lunchtime. So the first thing I got was this tablecloth. It's like a red linen tablecloth. I picked it because it felt really nice. Sometimes with the linen tablecloth section, stuff is obviously polyester. Sometimes it's harder to tell, or maybe it's like a cotton linen blend. I'm not sure what the fabric content is, and I didn't even check if there's a tag that says what the fiber content is. It just feels nice, so I figured I could use it for embroidery. There are some stains on here, but I can just kind of work around that. Yeah, I figured embroidery, or maybe even for some quilting projects like my curtains that I want to make. I want them to be kind of patchwork. I got a ton of cardigans. I was just in the sweater section out of curiosity, and then I found a bunch of cardigans that I thought were really nice, and I've been itching to shop this season. I think it's just the holiday season does that, where it's like the winter time, so you kind of want to update your sweaters or your clothes and you want to look nice. I feel very frumpy in the winter time, and I've been tempted to get myself some sweaters or new pants, just stuff like that. And I'm glad I checked the thrift store, because stuff is so expensive in nice high quality shops, and I feel like you can get things from brands that are usually pretty expensive. Like this is an Ann Taylor Loft cardigan that I'm sure if I bought a cardigan from Ann Taylor Loft, it'd be like probably at least 60 bucks, or I'm not sure what they go for, but this was $8.99 and plus 25% off. So I don't know, $6 or so. A lot of these I got thinking that they'd be for me to wear, but some of them I also think could be potentially embroidered to sell. For example, this is just a t-shirt, a sweater t-shirt, which I also weirdly can't resist, like sweater t-shirts. Part of me thinks maybe I got it for me, but I also think this would be a fun thing to embroider. I like embroidering knits now. It's kind of challenging, but it's also fun. It doesn't have a brand. It feels like the sort of thing that was made in the 90s, so it's really high quality, like a Land's End or a Talbot's or something. And it was also $9 with 25% off. Kind of high prices. I feel like that's because it's in the city of Philadelphia that the prices are higher, because I go to 2nd Avenue thrifts in the suburbs and they seem like they have lower prices. I got this sweater thing. I just kind of liked it. It looks a bit weird and lumpy from afar, but to me it seems like nice quality. I wonder what the fiber content is. It doesn't really have any tags, but maybe I could embroider something fun on this or like wear it. It just seems like a soft sweater that would be nice for lounging around the house in. And then I also got this burgundy cardigan, very cute. I love the cardigans with lots of little buttons. I feel like that's very trendy right now, but it's also been a staple of my wardrobe for many years. And this was only $4.29. It's a Karen Scott cardigan. This is kind of similar to the Loft one. This is a Croft & Barrow kind of oatmeal colored cardigan. And I also tend to prefer the ones with the little jewel neckline rather than a V-neck. That's just my preference. I feel like it looks better on me. So maybe I'll keep one of the beige cardigans for myself and then embroider the other one. We'll see. Maybe I'll end up embroidering both of them. And then the last thing I got from the thrift store is this frame. It is like a tabletop frame, but it could also be a hanging frame. So I feel like I'll remove this part. Kind of reminds me of Bauhaus or the Vienna Art Deco-y, Art Nouveau, simple but like nice. Okay, and then the books that I got from the library. This one is called Ornamental Ironwork. Pretty cool, just lots of iron gates. I pretty much just searched ironwork on the Philly Library website and I came across this book. So after going to the Barnes Museum and seeing all of the beautiful ironwork, I wanted to learn about the history and see other really cool iron designs. So I'm excited to go through this. I also got All That She Carried. I feel like this always comes up in book lists for textile reading and fabric arts reading, embroidery reading. I'm excited to read this. I also really like narrative stories about people's lives and memoirs. This book I feel like Hank Green recommended this book on his YouTube channel, and I'm interested in the topic of keeping your mind open and mind and psychology related books, how minds change, the surprising science of belief, opinion, and persuasion. And then the last book I got is this Magritte book. One of my favorite artists, classic surreal artist Rene Magritte. I've never really read a book about Magritte. I just love his artwork so much. This I will definitely spend a lot of time with. Wonderfully weird stuff in here. And I'm also just curious about who he was as a person. I love surrealism. That's a huge inspiration of mine. So this is very exciting. So that's my little haul of library books and thrift store stuff. I'm gonna wash the fabric and the cardigans and stuff before I use any of them. Maybe I'll even do a load of laundry before I make lunch. Welcome to the floor of my workroom. So I want to make curtains for our bedroom. And right now we have these gray pull down blinds. They can pull up and pull down. They're supposed to be darkening blinds and they do work pretty well at canceling out the light at nighttime. But I'm very sensitive, and even though I wear a sleep mask, I can still kind of sense that there's cracks of light coming through on the sides of the blinds. Aesthetically, they're not very cute. So I've been wanting to make some curtains for that room to get us started in the process of making the space a bit nicer since we've moved here. It's the biggest bedroom that I've ever had. I think Lewis as well. We've never had so much space to work with, so that's kind of intimidating. It'd be really cool to be able to do a whole makeover all at once, but I've resigned myself to knowing that it's just gonna have to be little by little making changes and then slowly transforming the space as we find little thrifted side tables or lamps, and the new curtains hopefully will make a big difference. Down the line we can get some new bed sheets because they're extremely old. I feel like the style of design that I'm drawn to is quite simple lately. As I get older, I realize it just makes more sense to gravitate towards design that you know will stand the test of time or that you expect to get a lot of use out of throughout the years. I want to move away from trendiness. That being said, it's interesting. I definitely like following interior design, and I think right now what is trendy is the idea of something timeless, like lots of stripes, lots of linens. I've been trying to keep a lookout for linen curtains or really cool fabric at the thrift store or at the resource exchange to make curtains out of for that room. And then the other day I just decided, never mind, I'm not gonna have plain curtains. I'm going to go in the complete other direction and make patchwork quilt curtains. Well, they won't be quilted, it'll just be patchworked, but it'll look like quilts hanging in the windows. I've been trying to manage my space a bit more. You can't see right now, but off camera there's just like a mountain of fabric in that corner of the room, and I want that all to go. I want to use it, make things, sell things, just not have storage bins of fabric in my life. I mean, I like having a fabric stash, but I feel like I need to have a more manageable way of that I stay organized. Also, there's 2 storage bins of fabric in this closet that I would also just like to use the fabric and then have that space to store other things. So yeah, as I was becoming more horrified going through all of the fabric that I've accumulated through the years, I decided a great way to use the fabric would be to make a quilt. And then I was thinking, so why don't I just make some patchwork curtains with all of these fabric bits. I'm thinking kind of a log cabin style design, but more so like a square with a border, with a border, with a border, and all the different borders are different colors, so like a different color fully surrounding the square. I'm thinking like log cabins, but then also a border of like stripes or something. I didn't make a sketch, I'm just gonna go for it and we'll see how it comes out. I don't expect to get very far today at all, but I do want to get started. And then I have a bunch of squares already cut out that are gonna be the starting point of these log cabins. They're gonna be statement curtains for sure. And I'm excited to see how they come out. Hopefully I sew nice and straight. I think that's the only thing I'm really concerned about. Nothing more timeless than just making things yourself. Here's a little stack of squares inside of squares that I sewed and ironed to the best of my ability. You can see I had to go into my fabric bins and get some other red corduroy and other red scrap fabrics because I ran out of the original scrap corduroy. I need to take a break now. I did start cutting more strips out of striped fabric and some gray and tan fabric.